Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. So a few months ago I bought myself this XL cordless circular saw. So in this video I'll be doing an unboxing, testing and review of this tool. Right, so here is the XL cordless circular saw, body only, 18 volt. I recently bought this from Tools for Trade website here in the UK. I have a few other XL tools and the batteries and the charger already. So on the box it says that it's an aluminium gearbox and blade cover. So the gearbox is aluminium. I don't think that's referring to the blade cover. That looks like it's plastic. Spindle lock for an easy blade change, a large cutting capacity and bevel capacity, aluminium base, and a lock-off switch for safety. So on the side here there's a bit more information. Says it's 18 volts, blade diameter 165mm, maximum cutting depth at a 45 degree, cut is 40mm, and then the max cutting depth 90 degrees is 55mm, and the RPM is 3,800. So inside the box you get the guide, the rail guide for doing straight cuts that you can add to the machine. Here is the circular saw. We'll take a closer look at that in a moment. User manual. Okay. And that is it. Right, so here is the circular saw. First impressions in one hand. Feels reasonably light. I've had the same size corded circular saws and they are, the ones that I've had are quite a bit heavier than this. This feels quite light. I like the double handle here. Feels good. So this sort of cowl here is aluminium. The base is aluminium. Looks quite smooth as well, which is good. Unfortunately the blade cover is plastic, so got to be careful. If you put that down on a concrete floor a bit too hard it could crack, but that's not surprising because pretty much all of the budget circular saws that I've bought have got a plastic guard, and this one actually feels quite thick and rigid anyway, so it should be okay. So here's the Allen key nut to change the blade. This came with a blade already, which is a 24 tooth. It's got 1.8mm kerf, 20mm bore, 165mm diameter. And there's an arbor button here to hold down when you're changing the blade. So you can change the depth of cut with this little knob here at the back. You just turn that and then we can reduce the depth of cut and increase it. Feels quite handy. There's an Allen key already stowed away in the machine here. Fits in there, so you can change the blade and you don't have to go looking for an Allen key. I'm surprised about just how small the motor is here. As you can see, ones I've had before have got quite a bulky motor that juts out and it can get in the way. This one looks small and compact, which is a good sign. And then you can do bevel cuts by adjusting this knob at the front here, and then the bed will tilt to, it looks like 50 degrees, and then back again. That's not something I really do with the circular saw. I'll probably just keep that set to 90. The safety switch is here at the top, and then the trigger is down here, and that is about it for the main unit. The guide rail, I'm guessing, can slide in at both ends, and you can adjust it, and then there's another knob just here, and that locks it off into place. All fairly well designed and well placed. I like the aluminium base, looks quite smooth, quite rigid and solid. Overall build quality, it doesn't feel like a premium tool, but it's not going to because it's at a budget price range, but feels good for the money in my opinion. I'll just put a battery in it and we'll listen to it. So this works with the 5 amp hour or the 2 amp hour XL battery. There it is with a battery fitted, and you can see it's quite portable, quite versatile. Let's just listen to it for the first time. So it's got an electric brake, you can hear how quickly it stops the blade. Doesn't sound too loud, and has that nice electric brake. So far so good. So now I'm going to weigh the circular saw. I've got the 2 amp hour battery in. I've removed the guide rail here, and I've removed the Allen key that you store in here. So let's see what it weighs. It's reading 2,571 grams, so 2.571 kilos, or just over 2.5 kilos. So now on with the testing. Here I'm cutting a 2x3 and just using a speed square to guide the cut. And again here I've got a series of 2x3s or 2x4s together. And you can see at that point I hit a screw in the wood. That's a problem when you're dealing with reclaimed timber. This wasn't intentional, but luckily the blade didn't have much problem getting through that. So luckily I could still use it, and it gave reasonably square cuts too. And I carried on, and the blade was still cutting fine. You can see it has plenty of power to get through this wood. Here I've got a straight edge clamped to some 12mm plywood, and again it had no problem cutting through this, did a nice tidy job and left nice clean cuts too. So for an 18V cordless saw, I think it's pretty decent. It does a good job. And the electric brake's nice. As soon as you let your finger off the trigger, that electric brake really grabs the blade and stops it quickly. Okay, so that is about it for the review. So my first impressions on this saw, I think it's very good. Bearing in mind it is a budget saw, I think it's very reasonably priced, quite cheap in my opinion. It works with a 2 amp hour and a 5 amp hour battery. It's got plenty of power. It's comfortable to use, it's lightweight. I like the aluminium base on it, works well, nice and rigid and strong, and everything works as it should. The guard here is only plastic, but it's quite thick plastic, so I think that'll be absolutely fine. Nice small motor on the back here, so it doesn't get in the way too much. It's not too obtrusive when you're working. All in all, I think it's a good saw. I've used it with some 2x3s, and it's cut through those no problem. It even cut straight through a screw at one point. So the original blade has cut through a screw or two, and it's still working just fine. I will be upgrading the blade when this one dulls, but the blade that's provided is adequate, does the job. Not the best blade in the world, but I wouldn't expect it to be, because When you buy a circular saw, you don't tend to get a really nice blade on it anyway, so that's fine. It cut through some plywood as well. I've been using it for all sorts of things recently and it's done a pretty good job, so I'm impressed and I'm glad I bought it. So if you would like to buy this saw or find out some more information about it, you could check out the Tools for Trade website, or you could go to my Amazon affiliate link and I'll leave that in the description box below and you could buy it that way. If you did find this video useful, please remember to like and also consider subscribing for more DIY related videos. And as always, thank you very much for watching and I'll see you next time.